But my boy hit me and was like, "Yo, have you heard anything about this being like a Jay-Z and Jay Electronica?"
Exactly.
That's what it was,
Korg
really.
on most of them tracks.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't even listened to it yet. And I was like, nah. I was like, I ain't even listened to it yet. He was like, yo, listen to it and get back to me.
It's good.
And so, and nah, that's what I keep hearing.
The content's good, yeah. The content's definitely good.
Also, what he told me is like, it's like Jay Electronica got like one verse on each song, and then Hov got a verse on each song.
Hov is basically on pretty much every track. Well, I don't know if every, but most
he's on most of them. He's on most of them. Yeah.
Because one of my people put up a post is like, yo, this new Jay-Z album was fire.
Have been both of them. Yeah,
that's the thing to me though, that it just kind of overshadowed the fact that Jay Electronica ain't dropped nothing in 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get Jay-Z on, like, to me, Jay-Z outshined him on the album. Like, outshined him. When me personally, I was looking forward to just hear Jay Elect do what Jay Elect was gonna do. But Jay being on the album on a project like that, man, he outshined him. Not saying it in a like he like killed him or anything like that. Like content wise, like both of them was doing their thing to me content wise. But Jay-Z is Jay-Z, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? And when he got on these joints, I was like, man, it just overshadowed Jay Electro. Like, man, for this to be your debut album, I want to hear you, more of you. Like, if Jay was on a couple joints, cool, you know what I mean, as a feature, but I want to hear more.
A lot of them.
He was killing them, I was like, man.
But the crazy thing is, to me, like, you didn't know that Jay was on all the songs until you listened to it, right? Like, it's not even like when you read the liner notes and not like that. Like, it's not really like
it's not out there.
To be honest, I never look anymore, so I don't even know if it said his name.
I'll be looking. Yeah.
So you didn't say featuring Jay-Z on those songs, not like that.
When I looked at first, it didn't.
So what that makes me think is that, like, it's just my personal opinion, is that, like, either Jay Electronica only recorded one verse for each of those songs or whatever, or B, like, he recorded verses and the other verses weren't that good and they just scrapped what didn't work. And Jay-Z was like, yo, we need to put this album out. Like, you know what I mean? Look, I'm gonna give you some verses I got. And like the crazy thing is, like, with Jay,
I'm gonna show you right now too.
In my personal opinion, Hov, with Jay-Z, whatever you want to call him, I think, like, if he got a 5-year-old verse, that joint could, like, outshine somebody's, like, 2 days old.
Brand new.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
brand new verses.
You know, and I don't know. That's just me, because I'm a huge, like, Jay-Z fan. Like, I have been, like, for the longest. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like Jay Elect got outshined, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it just took away from what. It took away from what I felt like the objective should have been, was like, this is your debut, man. Like, put you out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people have been waiting for 10 years, and I mean, I get it. If they was doing it, I don't know. None of us was in the studio sessions or anything, but I don't know if they was doing it just for fun, or I don't know what it was. But I mean, for it to be a debut album, I felt like it should have been more him, less Jay-Z.
Well, I'll tell you what. So one about the Jay-Z thing, but then two, the beats, they were all right. But I kind of like, for somebody that's like an MC like Jay Electronica, man, it's like I really wish they'd give him like a hard hip hop beat, like something like a classic 90s vibe, or something that's just hard way to rip it, and let him get more than like a minute and a half, because all those songs are kind of short. And then it goes to like a different vibe, and then the music, which kind of changed to some stuff that's kind of like artistic. And I get the artistic. Oh, it was just kind of like an artsy album. That's all. It wasn't like, I could dig the artistic value of it, but I kind of wish there's a little more hip hop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like those
it
two,
felt
like
spoken wordish to me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, so
it kind of felt like that.
It was not enough hard. Like there was like no punchlines. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying it was like.
It was like the one Rothschild punch.
No, yeah, well, I guess it was a couple, right? I guess there's a couple. I mean, but not. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, if you listen, Eminem came out this year, and then you listen to this record right here, you wouldn't say it was a lot.
Yeah. See, it don't say featuring. It only say featuring Travis Scott featuring The Dream.
Yeah, features on the actual joint. Yeah.
Oh, then it says at the bottom, Jay-Z appears on nearly every song in the written testimony, assuming a partner in rhyme role, not unlike the one Ghostface Killer played on Raekwon's seminal "Only Built for Cuban Links." I couldn't really compare that because Jay is like super established, and when Only Built for Cuban Links came out, like Ray and Ghost was at the same place in their career. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, overall too, man. I felt like the beats was okay. You know, they were okay.
That was gonna be my next question. What did y'all think about the production? Because it was a lot of joints with a lot of melodies and no drums too.
Yeah, but it was okay. I mean, a couple of the tracks it fit, but overall for the project it didn't to me. I feel like, you know, if you can get Jay-Z on a whole album, you can call any producer you want. And it sounds like a lot. Yeah. And it sounded like he I don't know if he used it sounded like the same producer on a lot of those tracks. I don't know if it is or not, but it kind of sounded like, you know, that particular producer's sound. Now I'm not shitting on the beats. I'm just saying as far as what I expected from Jay Electronica and the type of beats that I was expecting him to, you know, just really come in on, like it fell short for me on that aspect.
I'll tell you what made it feel like kind of artsy, and the same way about the beats, like not saying they're subpar, but I still kind of did think they were like not super hip hop. The little kids every minute is like, yeah.
What is that? Like
that was like a theme for the whole album. It's like the kids saying yay for it, but it's like it wasn't really explained or anything, and it was like a weak tie. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it was like an art piece. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I see they're trying to like make a tie to tie all the songs together because they all had like certain little things in common.
Well, maybe some of them kind of felt like it was forced together. Some of it felt a little forced.
Maybe this would lead to like, you know, another project, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing I like about like albums that's kind of like artsy like that, where it's like it's open to interpretation. You know what I mean? The only thing I remember what's his name when Kanye did Life of Pablo, like he was saying that it was a work of art, but then he had one version and then he did it over again or something like that. And, like touched up a few songs. It was like, well, you know, it's a work of art, so I can keep adding to it. To me,
y'all not even gonna believe this. My bad, Cheez. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah, I was just looking at the list of producers. It doesn't even make sense to me. Swiss Beats, which I didn't. You know, you usually
Swiss is on one of the joints. I did. I could tell.
I heard that.
I can't remember which joint it was though, but I could tell. I said that sounded like a Swiss joint.
Did it? Because I don't think I heard a Swiss.
I can't remember which joint it was without going back and listening to it.
Swiss, Hit Boy, The Alchemist, No ID, Young Guru, A-Rap Music.
Really?
And that's all I see.
That's like the fucking Super Friends.
Yeah, that's like that's what I was thinking.
Like, I definitely didn't hear an A-Rap Music.
Get in the room. Give me all your wackest beats.
The thing about A-Rap,
y'all get together and give me your wackest beats right now. You sit together and put your hands together. Don't give me any hits. I'm gonna show you how good of an MC I am. I don't want any fire beats.
You know what's crazy though? Jay-Z, to me, Jay-Z was one of the artists where, like, if he chose a bad beat, he could make you, by the time you heard that song, like at the end of it, and you really listen to it, make you feel like, yo, I don't like that beat, but the song is hot. You know what I'm saying?
Nas and KRS-One. KRS-One and Nas.
Well, Nas, see, I ain't gonna
especially KRS-One, man. Like, Nas. I go back to some KRS-One stuff now, and I was like, I hated it then, but now I'm here, I'm like, this is kind of futuristic.
Nah, but to me, Nas,
Guru, like young Guru, I figured more to be, you know, he's a
engineer, but you know, he makes beats too. Yeah. But like, it's so funny because like he always talk about like how he makes beats, but like I never seen him listed as a producer on anything. Always
right. I don't even think I know too much. Yeah, that's why I said,
Yeah,
I remember seeing
he can make shit sound beautiful, but
you know, not for nothing. Like I met Young Guru before at a conference. Mad fucking cool. Like wasn't like full of himself or nothing. And this is back like in this conference was back in like 2003, like when the Rockefeller days, they were still going, they're kind of going strong a little bit. Motherfucker didn't have no ego, no attitude, no nothing. You ask him a question, he'd be like, I use this, and basically said like the way he got his job and his position, because he was like one of the only dudes around that knew how to work Pro Tools. You know what I'm saying? Like they knew how to work Pro Tools and could record hip hop. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like you would think that it's just music, like you just recorded, like, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. But to me, just the fact that he was just that cool and just like no ego.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he might have just came from the studio with Jay-Z, who was like the hottest rapper at the time.
Yeah,
like no ego, no nothing, you know. And I met Clark Kent that same day. Clark Kent.
I like Clark Kent too.
Yo, let me tell you, I to this day I regret, because I was sitting and talking to Clark Kent, like we were talking like within, like, you know, social distancing right now, we was not practicing that. That's how close we were, you know what I'm saying? And this is before cell phones, so he's looking me straight in my eyes, like just, and you know, I'm asking him about this piece of gear, it's PreSonus Bluetooth, and I'm like, yo, you ever notice that when you use that, it distorts mad quick? He was like, yeah. He's like, yo, I can't get it, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I just kind of keep it at low settings, and you know, I just use it sparingly. If I want some distortion, like I'll make it distort. To this day, I regret not saying something like, "Yo, you need somebody to carry your records."
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
but you know, it is what it is. You know, hindsight is 20/20. But you know,
of course.
It's just you know, the fact that them people, like those two dudes, Clark Kent and Young Guru, at the height of like Jay-Z's success, and they were like in the middle of it, no egos whatsoever, just willing to talk to people and look at them like they like we were equal, and I think that's really not like
it's kind of a lost art. It speaks a lot to a person's character, man. You know, they ain't feeling ain't feeling themselves like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong about the Jay Electronica album, man. I mean, it just wasn't what I was looking forward to personally. You know what I'm saying? I do like out there type of albums if it's done right. If it's done right, kind of like Love Below. You know, albums like that. You know, I'm into it.
It's what Cheez said. You know, Jay Hove was like, we might got to fix this up to drop it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's like with those. So it's like I still think if he had some decent beats, because Jay Electronica is famous from like dropping like one fire bar per year for the last like 10 years. I'm talking about like a fire 24 or something like that. And like it makes you think it's deep and all that, but it's on like a beat that's so hard, it's like a mixtape flavor, and it carries through the streets. Like that's how he got his name pumped out. It wasn't through no artsy beats. And I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad problem. You know, like you said Nas, and I agree that Nas is kind of like he's so MC poetic that his beats are kind of like they haven't been carrying him like, you know, like a lot of people his fans might want, you know. But for Jay's first album, but like your whole first album, you should try like one banger, one single. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, they had a couple of days they were singles, but
I agree 100%.
I mean, but could you imagine what's going through his mind? He'll be sitting on an album for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like how much self-doubt must have been like.
It probably rewrote it like 10 times at least, man.
Creatives, you know what I mean? Like every day, you know, like we like kind of probably like run into somewhere where we doubt ourselves. You know what I mean? Every time you create something, it's like, nah, that ain't good enough. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's easy to overthink it, man. You know, when you overdoing it, like you know. Because I get it sometimes too, like where I sit back, I'll redo a verse 3-4 different times, but sometimes you just gotta let it rock, man. You know what I mean? Just quit overthinking it and quit getting in your own way. You know, and that's easier said than done. Us as creators, the way we are, like it's easier said than done. But
you know what I think was smart to do that?
I think he kind of got in his own way with this too. It was like, man, let me call Jay. You know what I mean?
You know a situation where I think it was smart, where the cat did it right? When 2 Chainz got LeBron. Because 2 Chainz, when he had his last album, he'd probably been recording for a while. He's trying to come back and reestablish himself as an MC. He's like he's kind of like on the uppercut of age as far as MCs go too. So it's like, let me come out hard. He said, I'm coming from ballers, so let me get LeBron. But then what he also said was, I just gave him a stack of songs and like let him pick out what fit. Because as an artist, man, you always have what you like and what you don't like. Like a lot of times the thing you like the most is the last thing you did. And then sometimes the first thing you did that like everybody loves, you're like, oh man, I don't want to hear that no more. He's like, nah, but that one, that's your joint. That's your joint. He's like, no, I don't want to hear that joint. I'm on to like my 10th joint now. He's like, no, but that one. And then, so you'll never pick that, but then everybody's going to go crazy for it. So, like, when he let his hands off and let, like, LeBron A&R, it was smart because he's not even a traditional A&R. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Sometimes you got to pull people that aren't in the same space that we're in. You know what I mean? People that just got their posts out there with what the kids is looking for as far as vibes and all of that.
Yeah, he didn't want money.
Yeah, it kind of goes along with what you're saying too, because you can make 4 or 5 joints and you think those is ones, then you can make another 5 that you like, man, those whatever. But those might be the ones that's like, yo, this
kids
is it.
Is really it too.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
When I get a young boy,
I use my kids too.
I was gonna say when I get a young boy to come through and check out beats and record and do a whole project, I go right to my nephew and whatever I make for that one person I know is about to come next week through, I show my nephew and I'm like, yo, is this what's up with this? And he'll tell me like, nah, that sounds old as shit, Ani. Like, nah. You know what I mean? And shit,
don't get it twisted too. It ain't just the kids. You can rely on your women too. You know what I'm saying? If you got women in your life, like my woman, she'll tell me like, nah.
Yo, I remember when I was like it was like probably 15 years ago with my girl. And like she would hear stuff I was making, and like if I heard her sing the chorus of a song that I did with somebody, I would tell my people, so like, nah, that song's a hit. And they were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that song's a fucking hit. I was like, yo, my girl heard this shit one time, she won't stop singing. That's a fucking hit. I was like, she
human barometer, bro.
Yeah, because my girl loves bubblegum music. You know what I mean? So if something sticks with her, that means
it's working. It's working.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember we had this one song. It was called like With a Cash or something like that. My girl would not stop singing the hook. Like to this day, sister, I still like that song. I'm like, all right, I don't even talk to them dudes no more.
yeah. But use everybody in your family, your immediate circles too. That ain't in your creative space, man. That's something to take advantage of. Because that's one thing I look forward to too. Like when I'm playing certain beats or I'm working on stuff, and if my woman is sitting here and she's on the phone or whatever, if she's not moving, sometimes I use that as okay, I need to go ahead and tweak this beat and do something. And then if I watch the body language. But if she's not really like, she subconsciously listens while she's on the phone, I start seeing her do that and I see her feet tapping or whatever. I'm like, okay, we on to something with this one. So I use every different advantage I can, as far as that. I always do.
Did anybody listen to Jadakiss shit? I ain't listening.
I feel like this song
honestly, I could only get to half. I only got halfway through it.
I
haven't went back and listened to the rest of it. I know like the first few cuts I heard, like the first 2 or 3 joints, they was tough.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, they was tough. And then after that, I didn't get a chance to go back, but it kind of all started sounding the same to me.
But that's Jadakiss. I love Jadakiss verses and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jadakiss is top tier lyricist, bro. Like, bar none. Like,
to me, like Jadakiss, like to me, him and Fabulous have the same problem, where their mixtapes are on fire. But then commercial releases,
I don't know what it is. A lot of artists do. A lot of artists fall in that category, right?
But I think what happens is because like with the mixtapes, they have the creative control. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But whereas with the commercial releases, the label got the creative control, and it doesn't really like fit in with like, because like to me like Fab when he was dropping those soul tape joints, like oh my god, I was the soul tape joints. The what's the other mixtape
Summer Shootout
before that?
So Shootout.
That was after. That was after.
It was like Black. I know what you're talking about. It's like another series.
Yeah, another series. And them joints was crazy. You know what I mean? But then like you hear his albums and you can hear like he's obviously trying to make it like very, very
commercially appealing and all that. Yeah. Like, which is hard. I mean, when you sign to a label and you have certain demands you got to meet, that does kind of, it can stifle your creative space sometimes. It can. I mean, when you gotta have this type of joint. You gotta also have this type of joint. You gotta do this. You gotta have these features. You gotta, this, that, and the other. I mean, but when you're doing your own thing, like I just seen Wayne in an interview not that long ago, and they asked him, "What's your favorite album out of your discography?" Guess what he said? No Ceilings.
That was a mixtape.
He went stupid on that.
Good.
I remember when Wayne was dropping all the mixtapes.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
But that No Ceilings, that was the one that really, because I mean, I fucked with Wayne a little bit before that during the time, but when that No Ceilings hit, I was like, what? Okay. Okay. But yeah, they do fall into that category in that space sometimes, man, of just having to appease the labels and all that, man. So I don't know, I don't know a person's contract, but I mean,
it kind of takes back.
We've been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, it kind of takes back to what Brian was saying, like last week, talking about how like the artists, I mean the labels, like kind of just copy what another label is doing. But my thing is this: like y'all so greedy for money, y'all could have like ate crazy if those Soul Tape albums were his real albums. And I get it, he was going over like beats that were used before, but like it's like you couldn't. It's like don't tell me you couldn't do it because Ghostface was making albums where he was rapping over soul songs, like the songs were playing in the background. You hear the crooners, still rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't tell me like y'all couldn't do it. Y'all just didn't want to do it.
Didn't want to break the bread. You know what I'm saying? Just didn't want to break the bread.
But my thing is this, like,
but when really, if you could see what you're gonna get in return, are you listening to this? Like,
my thing is like they could have really like they could have really killed like those albums. Like, who knows if the label got something off of those or whatever, they would consider for promotional use only. Right. But I guarantee you, Fab was performing those songs. At appearances,
shows and at venues and
you know what I mean? So because like I'll be honest with you, if I go to see a Fabulous show, like I'm there, I'm like, yo, I hope he perform some of this mixtape,
some of the mixtape joints.
Because I seen Fab perform before. This is like years ago. This is back when Superwoman was out, with Lil Mo and all of that. And that, I mean, like at the time that song was hot. You know what I'm saying? But like I honestly say, like if I had to choose between Superwoman and anything on the Soul Tape, I'm going with the Soul Tape.
Go with the Soul Tape. For real. It's for real, man. Yeah, I agree with you on that too, man. That's what I'm like, man, I don't know. I know some of the artists run into the problem of, they try to get clearances to use some of the beats and stuff like that. Like, I get it. And then some of the creators of the beats, which, I understand it from a business aspect, they get a little greedy on it too. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm gonna need a percentage of each stream and all. Like, whoa, hold on, man. I get it, but let's just go ahead and cut the check. Yeah. Just cut the check, bro. You don't need a percentage of my sales, my streams. I mean, that's where it gets. The gray area of how all the legal jargon goes.
My thing always been this is like the music industry is like any other industry where you got a lot of people that are really good at what they do. You know what I mean? So like, say you got an artist who wants a certain sound, like y'all don't want to pay for samples. Don't do that. Like get this artist a band.
Get a replay. Do a replay. Yeah.
Not even a replay. Create original stuff.
Or do go on track with it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But if you want to sample, bad enough, you can get a replay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you get that cleared. You can get that.
You still got to.
J. Cole did Middle Child out.
Sometimes it takes away from the original sample. You know what I mean? But
man, listen,
that's still an option though.
They still got all them old tape machines. They still got all that old gear that gave those records that sound. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching this thing on YouTube the other day. They were saying, can we remake the Motown sound? So like they literally like had these engineers that were bringing, I forgot what kind of walls they had. It's the it's white and it got like little holes in it, and so they put that behind the rhythm section, and that provided like a certain ambiance because
the ambiance.
Yeah. And they even like to the point where because the room had to be shortened, so they actually put stuff on top of the ceiling.
Kind of bring
you know what I'm saying? So like
that's crazy because I just watched the Motown thing too, where they were in the what's it called, Hitsville? They were in that studio, and it's so small in there, but that's how they got that sound.
That's how they got that sound.
Yeah. And even like when the way they was micing stuff up, like they like everything was in there getting mic'd at once. The only person that wasn't in there was the vocalist. The vocalist was doing, and then like they were saying too that Motown was like the innovator of like multi-track. Like people like when all the violin parts was coming in, they just had the string section come in on their own, play it, and they're like, all right, see you later. Then the next, you know, and boom, boom, then just stacking stuff on top of stuff. You know what I mean? But like people not in the studio at the same time, and it like, so I'm saying all this to say like you can get that sound like if you want it. Like you know what I mean? It's gonna cost. It's obviously gonna cost, but I think
not even a lot though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. In the long run, it'd be way cheaper than paying for a sample clearance. Yeah, because the sample clearance, like the artist could be like, yeah, well, you know, I want 1%, or they could be like, I want 200%. It's like
they could ask for whatever they want. Bro. At the end of the day, they could ask for whatever they want. At the end of the day, you know, don't get it twisted. I get the business part of it. I get it.
Because I remember "Breathe" by Fabulous. You know, he said he ain't never got paid for that song because it got leaked on radio before he got one of the samples cleared, and by the time that the dude who sampled was,
they was eating off of it. They was eating off of it.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh no, this one on the radio. No, I need everything." You know what I mean? So, and that song was huge.
Still is. I still hear it sometimes. I go to venues or certain shows, like they'll play that in the back at sporting events. They still play that.
That's a song like if I'm going to work out, that's like my mid workout song. Where like I'm getting dead. It's like breathe.
1 to the 2 to the 3.
You gotta
it gets you going, man. Yeah.
If I'm running,
that's crazy, man. You know, it's sad because we hear those stories all the time with some of the biggest hits out there, and the artists ain't getting a dime off of them because of, you know, even little technicalities like that got overlooked. And that's not little though. That's not a little technicality, but you know, things like that get overlooked, and then it's like, oh man.
But he gets to do shows though.
That would make me sick.
He can go do his booty records. He could use that hit record and sell all of his booty records on stage on a $30, $50.
Yeah, the shows is where the money is too.
Yeah,
the shows. Yeah.
So call your filler records and play them, and then do their one record last and call it a day.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Because it's like that song is just free promotion at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, because you know, like, it's he lost money from the song, but I guarantee you he probably made back what he lost.
He made his money.
Everybody in this discussion would trade places, y'all. We would all trade places. We would all trade places. Take a Michael Jackson sample, let him get all the money, and then we blow up. Yeah, no problem. I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't?
One of those things. It's one of those things to worry about it when you have to.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people pay more money for promotion.
If you're out here working with samples and stuff, you don't worry about it when you have to. If you on their radar, that's when it's like, okay.
That's when it's a good thing.
So you know what? Case in point, Frank Ocean, man, he blew up off American Wedding. The Eagles sued him and said, "You can't play this." It was Hotel California music. Of course, it was a hit. Y'all heard that music before, but then Frank flipped it his way. People was like, "Who is this dude that's flipping up these classic rock songs like this?" And then they pulled it off YouTube. Now you can only hear it sped up or slowed down. They take it off every week and they put it back up. He can't even do it on stage no more. They keep on following him around to see what's going to do it. But he's already blown up. He's like made millions of dollars. He's like an own entity right now. He doesn't even do record deals no more. He does like album deals with labels.
You got to pick and choose what you want to do, because you could also use that, like you said, too, to your advantage of use it as a promotional tool.
Springboard,
You know, they go come for theirs, but at the same time, you're going to attract a lot of attention. Like, yo, who is that? Like, get him in here. Find her. You know, bring them in here.
The same promo, just like what she said about your man doing those Bat P Rock. The same promo is hard to get. You have to be genius and do something super dumb to get it, or you could be smart and do these things. You know what I'm saying?
There's more ways to attack it, for real.
I remember I did an album with my homeboy, and we exclusively sampled 2 artists, you know, for the whole album, and that was the premise behind the album. I remember like at the time, like we were like a little bit shook, like yo, like we can't even put this on iTunes or nothing. It's like, yo, and then after a while, I was like, yo, fuck it, let's just put this out. If we get sued, we get sued. Like I ain't got nothing for them to take. Like, I was like, if we get sued over this album, we are doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Danger Mouse.
Exactly.
Yeah, that Gray album.
Yeah,
that's classic, man.
You wouldn't even heard of him if he didn't do that, man. That's like a ballsy move.
Yeah, and that led him to working with CeeLo. You know what I mean? Like,
and they did the same thing. Samples, they just paid for them that second time.
Yeah. Then you get on at that point, you know, the label be like, oh, we'll take care of that. We just need you to go ahead, keep doing what you're doing, and focus on this.
They gonna eat regardless. Label gonna eat regardless. You know what I mean? Like that little chump change they break you off to do your album, like they gonna eat. Like the crazy thing for me is like when they break you off that advance, like to me the crazy part, and I get it, I understand. Like you know, you have to turn in a studio quality album, but why don't people like build their own studio or something like that? Like when why you gonna blow your whole? I know some people do.
Some of them do. Yeah,
blow their advance on cars and shit like that. Yeah. I'm like, bro, build a studio so the next time they give you an advance, you can pour it.
Exactly. So you can put it back into your investment. You know,
that debate goes all the way back to like the start of hip hop, man, because that's the same thing as Blueface saying that you need to go get the biggest chain. He's like the whole opposite side of the spectrum. Blueface says you get a deal, you better go get the biggest chain because if people they don't want to see nothing they could get. So if I could go work and get a studio, and you blow up Cheese, and then you go get a studio, and you go on your IG and like, yo, look at what I got. I got this brand new MPC Live. And I'm like, nigga, I got MPC Live right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right? You see? But then if you go and you show me this chain that got rainbow colors, and you're like, oh, I just got this from China. You can't even go to China. I got this. They sprayed it for the virus. And this is like, you know what I'm saying? Then you're like, whoa, who just put a virus chain up on IG? Then you got, you see what I'm saying? Then you then you start selling records, and that MPC ain't gonna sell records like that chain did.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I got a Ferrari SUV. You know,
I stole a Ferrari, and I have a hit record like your man. You know, rest in peace. But you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's up to the individual artists or performers, musicians, how they want to play that too. Because me, I'm kind of like along the same lines of Cheese too. It's like, build your own spot. You ain't got to go out and get the $250,000 producer. You know what I'm saying? Have your own spot. Have your own people come in. Put your people on. Get your people in here. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got a boy or a homegirl.
Got a crew, got a team behind them. They got a team behind them. Yeah, got their team. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't have a name, but everybody got somebody around them that's just like crazy. You know what I mean? So like to me, it's like a prime opportunity for you to like really just be like, yo, I'm gonna use this first advance to really like build, you know what I mean, and then be able to eat off everything else. I think to me the only person that really put his peoples on was I'm not gonna say only, but the one person I feel like put his peoples on like very well was Ludacris. You know what I mean? Like because even though like a lot of them dudes didn't really like pan out like that, I felt like he was making those DTP albums and he was saying like, yo, go crazy. He's like, I'm using my name to bring the attention, and you guys, y'all go do what y'all do. You know what I mean? Like, because they had like DTP, like they had some joints. You know what I mean? At the time,
Disturbing the Peace did have some joints. Yeah, it's kind of like a Nelly with the St. Lunatics. You know what I'm saying? He put them on. He's another one that put them on. He was like, my name is hot out here right now. I'm gonna go back get my boys. We all gonna eat. We all gonna eat. Yeah.
Everybody does it, but everybody don't do it well. Like a lot of like crews, it'd be like, yo, this is really just your homeboy off the block, and you trying to do something good. I feel you. Yeah, but your boy probably needs to like
Little Daddy Shane. Take my the Juice Crew of Little Daddy Shane. You talking about MC Hammer. MC Hammer crew.
Nah, I ain't going back that far. I do remember Little Daddy Shane though. I remember Little Daddy Shane.
Yeah, Juice Crew they put on. I mean, it started out kind of like that. People kind of got away from it. And I think a lot of that's like label driven too, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When the money comes, it's hard to split a money bag with people that don't know money. Yeah. It's like then one guy that got all the money and everybody else don't know it. And they just greedy and they want to get their guns and rob people and stuff. It's like you just invite me to a picnic at that point. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to keep a group together. Yeah. It's hard to keep it.
How you gonna let them follow you when you got the
money bag and Dame Dash and all of that? You know what I mean? Jay kept a lot of people with him, and then he didn't too because some of those people just were fucking the business up,
fucking the money up, fucking at the end of the day.
I learned so that it could be worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't.
Oh yeah.
Like unless people have a real responsible position, you can't have them. You can't give them like a little petty job because they're still gonna be greedy and be like, "Oh, you're the man with the money. You tell me how much I get, huh? You the boss."
You at the end of the day, too, man. Yeah, you can't bring everybody with you. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but you can't. You just can't bring everybody with you.
And even with like Wu-Tang, a lot of people don't know like the real ends of this story with Riz's brother. His brother is like, he did a lot of legwork for them. And when it came time that he was to get his cut, which anybody would have taken, if you hired one of these people to do this, an A&R or this or that, they probably would have took more. But I felt they were so wrong the way they did him. Like, because when it came time for him to get his cut for booking all of this and getting you in here and doing this, they were pissed about it. Like, yo, why are you taking that? But how your man is not going to eat, one. Number two, he got you in that spot. So, of course, he should be paid a percentage. He should be
compensated. Yeah. Look out for him.
You think one of these white motherfuckers in a business suit is not going to take a good chunk of your shit for doing that?
Man, they're taking damn near all of it for doing that.
Yeah.
97%.
Get out there on the road. Get your ass on the road.
I don't even think Divine was asking for that much. And they really like, some of them don't even deal with him to this day behind that. They really like sat him down, and I was just like, yo, that's crazy.
It is.
But
crazy.
Another one that really Eminem kept his people, his day one.
I was about to say that M and D12, but originally D12 was originally 12 members. Like, who's the other 6 members?
Yeah. But I mean, even behind the scenes and shit, like Denon and shit, like he kept that was his boy from jump, and they put that shit together.
You know what I mean? Crazy with the beats.
Yeah, hell yeah. He was helping Royce do that whole album. Royce did mostly the melodies. I went and looked, and he did the drums.
Mr. Porter came in and helped him out a lot too.
Man, that's some good damn help.
Hell yeah,
Mr. Porter.
That's what we were saying in the last episode.
If I can get on the phone and call
golden team right there.
Yep. So I get on the phone and call Preem too, like, hey man, let me FaceTime quick. How do I program this? Like, man. Yeah. But it's hard to keep groups together, man. Groups rarely stay together. Because it's usually because of the business.
It's always something.
Yeah. Speaking of groups and keeping them together, a group I hope that stays together is that whole Griselda fam. Let me tell you. I was talking to my boy. I was like, yo, I ain't really with the whole gun and drug rap and all of that. I was like, but I grew up listening to that. And
the boom bap style of the beats and all, but we grew up with that whole style of music, period. You know
exactly. So and I was, they was on, I found, I was just on YouTube one day and one of the suggested videos was this Griselda freestyle.
Crime Apple.
I tell you, I was in there like, I was in there like punchline after punchline. I'm like running it back, like to hear stuff. And I was like, yo, I was telling my man, I was like, yo, you need to check them out. He's like, yeah, I'm not really with that. I listen to Freddie Gibbs and stuff like that. I like Freddie Gibbs. It's the same thing, but it's a different vibe. I was like, I get you. I was like, bro, I was like, you always telling me you want to hear something that bring you back to like 95, 96. I was like, listen to these guys. I was like,
and I think they just didn't they just sign Bodie James or give Bodie James a deal? Or looking to do something with Bodie James? The Bodie James album is dope too. If you haven't heard that, The Price of Tea in China, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, check that out too. It's the same vibes,
Words. I'm definitely looking to that because
I listen to like Crime Apple and some of those cats too. Around this circle stuff. Like, that sound's been out here. It's really catching on now.
It's just under
coming out the underground.
But it's good though. You know what I mean? It's good because like right now it's almost like that sound is so different than everything else that it's like you can't help but to gravitate to it. You know what I mean? And but the thing I like about it is that like it's not even like on some like mainstream thing. Like I don't think any of those songs are ever like really hit the radio like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because of like the time and the age we in right now, you don't even really need that. Like you know what I mean? You just need need a good fan base and a good following.
You got your loyal following, and that's all you need right there.
1,000 people to pay $100.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Man.
Yeah.
And yo, I'm telling you, they shows, people be packed up in them shows. Ain't nobody sitting down. Like my I'm not going to them standing room only shows no more. Like my knees can't.
I can't do it either. I can't do it either no more, bro. I can't. I was just talking about that last week with a partner. I can't do those anymore, man.
Last show I went to was the 20th anniversary of Only Built for Cuban Links 25th anniversary or something like that. Man, listen, I was in there for a little while. I was good. I looked to my brother. I looked at my homeboy. My homeboy was rocking. I looked at my brother. My brother older than me, and I'm like, I took my brother. I'm like, nigga, I'm ready to go. My feet, my knees, my hips,
knees, my neck, my
can't
back.
rock no more. I can't rock no more.
My neck and my back. I need 50,000.
Let me just take a rest for a minute.
Yeah. And I ain't even gonna lie too, man. The older I'm getting too, I'm starting to have a little bit of issues with them outdoor concerts too, a little bit, man. I'm starting to get there with them too. I'm like, it's hot. I can't sit in this.
I went to one of them last year.
I can't out there just baking. I went to a concert. What was it, a couple years? That wasn't last year. A couple years ago, and that was one of the most miserable concerts I went to because it was an outdoor venue. They wouldn't let you bring the umbrella in if it had a point on it, and like all this stupid shit, man. Because I went to see Cameo and a few other bands. Right?
Shit.
Yeah. And
then they did the same thing right after that because I went to see Morris Day in the Times. And I was like, man, I can't do these outdoor joints. It's getting too hot. Unless it's a nighttime. If it's at night, then I can do it. You know what I'm saying? During the day, it's rough, bro.
Y'all see all week. Everyone been doing live, like IG live concerts.
Streaming. Yeah.
I said, shit, we should start doing some shit on live this week, like some beat making or some shit. Like, I always wanted to do that on live, but it'd be too much going on in my area for all of that.
I'm gonna start doing it.
I feel that.
Last time I did an IG live, making beats, like I was chilling, I'm grilling, and then I get off this shit, and fucking Nipsey Hussle got killed. And I ain't been on IG Live since. Dead ass. The same day. And I got off. And crazy shit was like, I remember my man telling me, he's like, yo, you gotta listen to this album. This album is crazy. You gotta listen to it. I was like, man, shut up, get out of here. But I had seen him around everywhere. You know what I mean?
You talk about Victory Lap?
Yeah.
Man, I've been a Nip fan forever. Like one of my boys handed me a mixtape years ago, and I've been a fan ever since. That shit broke my heart.
I didn't know him I didn't know his music like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was.
And I really didn't either. Honestly, at the time, I really didn't either. I heard him, here and there, but
yeah, I heard like a song or two, and like even when I put up the post on IG saying, damn, this is sad. I didn't want to sit up in front like I was a huge fan. Like for me, it was damn, like this dude was really doing a lot of good stuff. Like that, like literally, like
outside of music,
yes,
you know what I mean. And I'm like, damn,
intelligent, brother.
I'm like, this is horrible, man. Like all the things he was like just promoting, just